morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Pretty
good here, and welcome to the channel. We finally have a nice day here in Ohio. It's 68 degrees outside, although we're under a high wind advisory, which I guess that means we're expecting winds of up to 55 mile an hour. Is that what they said?
55 to 60, I think.
55 to 60 miles an hour wind gusts.
Yeah.
So
sustained at about 30. I can see the trees they're moving quite a bit.
So it is quite windy outside, but we wanted to do a test with all of the windows down inside of the Tundra. Not done that before. We haven't been able to because it's been so cold or raining or snowing or doing whatever it does here. So we're going to put all the windows down sections at a time so we can see the impact. And all you really have to pay attention to in this video is Krista's hair, because you'll be able to see what the wind or airflow is like through the cabin based on what her hair does.
Wow.
I would say my long flowing locks, but it's not going to happen. So stay tuned, and we'll carry on. First of all, let's start with the sunroof, and we'll listen for air movement. I guess you'll be able to hear the air, and it's a particularly, windy day out. So actually, I think
we actually have a wind advisory today.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the rear window, just the rear window. So here we go.
That's pretty slick.
The rear, it's cool.
That is pretty slick.
One of the reasons I went with the Tundra.
That is very slick.
So right now the rear window is all the way down. You probably could hear a little sound change there, maybe.
Maybe.
Now we're going to do the sunroof.
Do you know how?
Not really. So there we go. We're going to do the sunroof. It's opening now. You can see it up there opening.
God, I love these things.
The sunroof is now
Gotta have a sunroof.
open.
Got to have a sunroof.
So let's move on to the two rear windows. Both rear windows are now down, and you notice there's not a huge sound change in the cabin. I mean, it's a little bit louder.
It's a little bit louder.
And my long flowing locks of hair are not blowing all over the place. Krista is actually trying to escape out of the sunroof. It's pretty funny. Let's see that. Let go of your hair. I want to see that.
No.
That's pretty funny.
I forgot it does that.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
All right, now we're going to do the driver's side window. That would be the seatbelt banging around back there now, I guess. And speed-wise, you should know, we're traveling at, I have a stopped postal truck. I probably ought to move over. We're traveling at 45 miles an hour, and the rear seat belts are banging against the sides of the truck. You can probably hear that.
You know,
Now,
when we're driving my Beamer, you don't have that kind of noise. Just saying.
but we're not. So now we're going to do the passenger side window.
It's going to be really bad.
We now have
Now it's cold.
every window in the truck open. The sunroof, the rear window, and all four side windows are now open. Of course, it is quite a bit louder now. Hopefully you can hear me, and I'm being blinded by the sun up there because it's close to noon, and it's sunny out for once. I don't mind, I just can't see. So we're going to get up to 55 miles an hour here in a second, hopefully, barring traffic, which we have some.
It's one of those stupid dump trucks.
Take a quick little sip of the sweet tea. As you can hear those seat belts rattling around back there, might be time for a rear seat belt mod of some sort to dampen that sound.
Stop that wind from happening.
because that could be rather annoying. Now, you could have the radio turned up, of course. You might actually hear less of that, but...
Oh, yeah. And if it were me, I'd have the music up.
So,
just saying.
This is our, now it's getting windier in here because of our high wind advisory, I guess, or whatever.
Up to 55, 60 mile an hour today.
Yeah, 55, 60 mile an hour wind. It's gonna make washing the cars fun because they'll be drying off before I can get the soap off, probably. But this is our test. So now we're gonna close the windows and let's see what we get. We'll start with the rear slider.
How about the front?
We already did that.
No, close them.
So here we go. The rear slider is now going up.
That made it more windy.
The rear slider is closed, and Krista thinks that makes it windier, and it might. I don't know.
My hair is in my eyes.
So that's done. Let's do the sunroof next. Close this cover because frankly the sun's in my eyes. Okay, so now we just have the 4 windows down in the cab. Let's go with the rear windows.
I'm putting mine up.
Not yet. We got to go with the rear windows next. And with the rear windows closed, and I'm not surprised, I feel a lot more wind now myself coming in through the driver's side. You notice more wind now? I do. I do. There's a lot more wind coming in, and that might be because of the high wind. I don't know. But now we're going to close the cab windows.
The cab windows?
The front windows. Now, somebody just turned right in front of me. I'm just driving in a 4,000-pound truck or something, whatever this is. But anyway, everything is now closed, and I hope you can tell a big difference, obviously, in the cab here. Your hair looks great, by the way.
I'm sure it does.
In a cab here, or in the cab rather, with all the windows up. As we go further north, the temperature has now dropped to 67. A little bit more chilly out, but still very nice compared to what we've been having.
It was just 68, so it's dropped 1 degree.
It has. Now, compared to, and we'll use the Z4 because that's the convertible that we have now.
That I have now.
Oh yes, that she has.
Correct yourself. That's good.
How would you say the wind felt in the truck with all the windows open as compared to with the top down on the Z4?
What?
How do you think the wind was compared to the Z4 with the top down?
I'd say it was comparable.
So you think we'd have had that much wind in the car, in the car with the top down as compared to the Tundra with all its windows down?
Well, actually probably more because you don't have any bits and pieces around you.
Well, I was really thinking more of the aerodynamic properties of the Z4 as compared to the truck. It might cut through the wind better, I'm not sure.
Oh, it definitely does.
Because it's more dynamically designed, of course, than the...
Well, sure, and it's lower to the ground.
Truck. So...
But you still got the wind.
Okay. I haven't been in the Z4 too much, really, so... I really can't speak to it. I'd say in the Boxster, when I had that, there would probably have been less wind with all the windows down in the Boxster than there was, obviously.
And the top down?
And the top down than
less
in the
wind?
truck. Yeah. Except for
that's true because you are higher.
You obviously would get more crosswind in a convertible with nothing around you than you would in the truck, probably. But
right, because you still have a roof over you per se. You just have a little piece of it that's open.
Right. So, can you see yourself riding around in the truck with all of the windows open in the summer?
Yeah, I don't give a crap about what my hair looks like. Absolutely.
You don't think that that's too much wind and that would be annoying?
The seatbelt noise would be annoying.
Yeah, they were quite loud. I wasn't expecting the the seat belts in the back to be blowing all over the place.
Flapping all over the place.
Yeah,
yes.
that was not expected. Now you could always, you know,
Turn
buckle
up the
them.
music.
You could always buckle them across the seats, and then they wouldn't do
No,
that.
I'd turn up my rock music.
Your rock music.
Rock music.
Rock music.
Or my whatever I'm into at the moment.
You could do that, although I still think you'd still hear that in the background.
Probably. It was pretty loud.
Pretty loud.
Yeah.
Again, not something I expected. I didn't really think about the seatbelts in the back blowing all over the place and making noise against the.
Never would have thought that they would.
No.
You don't hear that in the glorious Z4. There is none of that car noise, any kind of noise. It's just wind. Wind and sunshine.
It's probably because you don't have rear seats in the Z4, so you don't have seat belt buckles to blow around.
I have my passenger side when I'm by myself.
But that's just right there. It's not all the way in the back.
Well,
Plus, it's protected by the windshield. More so than that, which has wind coming in right out of that back window and through the sunroof. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and do a little wind test since it's actually warm outside in the Tundra, so we can see what that feels like. It's the first time we've been able to do that since we've had the truck. So let me know what you think. Should you ride around with all those windows open and all that blowing and stuff through the cab? I don't know. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't before. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a good day. Bye.